Hi, and welcome to Discover Your Ruby Rose Gems with Dr. Tara. I'm your host, Dr. Tara, and I'd like to welcome you to episode 3, Who Do You Love? What does that question mean? It's February, and in a couple of weeks, it'll be February 14th. Who are you celebrating on February 14th? Who do you love? Think about that question as we talk, or as I talk to you today about what I mean when I say, who do you love? So, as children, we are entertained with many stories of how the prince and the princess lived happily ever after. The story goes something like this. The princess is taught to sit by the window and look out into the garden, waiting for the prince to find her and rescue her. And this begins their happily ever after. The problem with that story is that children grow up and they learn that the fairy tale they dreamed of is not guaranteed. Especially my women grow up and realize this is not a guarantee. This realization makes modern day dating and relationships confusing and challenging. It leaves a lot of people feeling as though they are inadequate and incomplete because they are unmarried, not in a relationship, unattached, and maybe not without children. Valentine's Day is a reminder of that for some, not all. This day is not a distressful day for a lot of people, but for some it is. It's a reminder of who or what is missing in life. Instead of being the day to celebrate love and romance, Valentine's Day can be distressing for some. For some, it's a reminder that they're not in a relationship. It's a reminder of their single status, or that they're in a meaningless, fruitless relationship. And it makes them feel like they're going to be lonely for the rest of their lives, or especially on Valentine's Day, that they're going to be at home alone. And then even for some couples, Valentine's Day can be a stressful time because couples who are living their life every day happy on Valentine's Day are out trying to create the most elaborate date night of all time and looking for the most perfect gift to give, especially my guys. I'm sorry that you go through this, but it is what it is. One issue is consumerism and commercialism. Both. Everywhere you go, there are red and pink hearts everywhere, filled to the brim on shelves. There are stuffed animals and cards and chocolates and all these fancy things that you have to give to that perfect one. But what if you don't have that perfect one? Then what? The other issue is this concept that romance and finding love is the one key to true happiness. And that being single is synonymous with being lonely, being unlovable, and ultimately destined to live an unfulfilled life. This is not true, okay? Lies, they say, lies. Throughout history, little girls and women have been taught that self-love, self-acceptance, happiness with self, and individual accomplishments are not enough. And some of my guys too, I don't want to leave you guys out because this phenomenon touches a lot of people, not just women. So I don't want to, be all for the women and not for the guys. This is for everyone and anyone who feels like this fits them. But I know women a lot feel like they're unfulfilled when they're not in a relationship or they haven't had children yet. I see that a lot in my practice. But it's not true. And I want you to think about something. Remember I said at the beginning, who do you love? And I want you thinking about that. Okay, so here we go. What about the most important relationship of all? What relationship is that? the relationship that you have with yourself. And there's not enough attention placed on this concept of loving yourself, caring for yourself. And I'm not talking about that selfish kind of stuff that you see out there. That's not what I'm talking about. The self-love and self-care that I'm talking about is an important part of maintaining mental health, okay? Healthy emotional self. But most of us don't focus on this, and we fall into this trap of being too hard on ourselves and not giving ourselves the same affection that we go out and give to other people. You know, going out and trying to find this perfect gift for someone else is great. I'm not opposed to that. I love gifts, okay? But what about gifting to yourself? What about showing yourself some of that same love that you're out there trying to give to someone else, or trying to find someone else to give it to? This Valentine's Day, I encourage you to change your perspective on how you see love and who do you love, okay? So, as with most things in life, a shift in mindset can affect our outlook on life. So, shifting how you see love and how you give love and receive love can change your whole outlook on life. Instead of viewing Valentine's Day as a day to be depressed about your current relationship status or lack thereof, view it as a day to focus on yourself and flood your heart with self-love and self-care. Because the most important relationship in life is the one you have with yourself. One of the things that I teach my clients is that how can you love someone else if you don't love yourself? Before you're able to love someone else, you have to be able to embrace and appreciate yourself holistically. And that means physically loving yourself, mentally loving yourself, and emotionally, spiritually, and so on. Loving yourself means you understand your worth and only accept others in your life who do the same. This Valentine's Day, I challenge you to change your perspective. Do what Whitney Houston said. Learning to love yourself is the greatest love of all. So I want you to focus on turning love and kindness inward. Focus on loving all of you, flaws and all. Yes, we all have room to grow, but in order to grow, we must plant a seed of love. Nourish it with kindness and compassion for it to grow and blossom. I want you to think about how you speak to yourself. What are you saying in your mind to yourself about you? Turn those words around. Speak kindly to yourself. Have you ever stopped to think about what you're saying? Take some time to work on shifting that around. Write down some of your common self-statements and see if you can't change them around to sound more compassionate. Some other things I want you to think about doing is, as you're making Valentine's Day plans this year, incorporate some self-time, some self-love time. Take yourself out on a date. I've talked to a lot of clients over the last couple of weeks, and a lot of my clients are going to take themselves out. They're going to do some things with some of their girlfriends or guy friends or even just alone. And some of them are in relationships and some of them are not. But they understand the value of choosing them and answering the question, who do I love, with me. I love me. Another thing I'd like for you to do is click at the bottom and you'll find a pamphlet on how to create mantras and affirmations. Spend some time creating some different ways to speak positively to yourself. Once you create it, post it somewhere, like on a mirror in your bathroom or wherever. I don't care. You pick the place that works for you. Say it and read it out loud every day. Okay? Because mantras and affirmations help to create more positive self-talk and more self-compassion. All right? So I'm going to give you a list of things that you could try if you're new to self-care and self-love, okay? And some of you are. So I have 11 ways to enhance self-love. Pick 3 to 5 of these to do for the month of February, all right? So one is start each day looking at yourself in the mirror and saying something positive. My thing to say is, good morning, gorgeous. And that's before makeup. Set healthy boundaries, all right? Healthy boundaries are important. They're essential for your mental health and your emotional well-being. They help you communicate to the world that you value yourself, and it teaches other people how to treat you. Practice assertive communication. That's assertive, not aggressive, and not passive, okay? Assertive communication just means that I'm speaking in a way that honors me and what I think and what I feel, but it's still respectful to the other person, right? So I can say no, all right, if that honors me and what I'm thinking and feeling, but I can say it respectfully to the other person. Practice self-care. Exercise. And by exercising, it doesn't have to be, you don't have to go out and get a trainer. It doesn't have to be HIIT fitness or anything extreme like that. Walk. It's free and it's easy. Walk. Start with 10 minutes and increase 20, 30, 40. Get yourself up to 10,000 steps a day. All right? Eat well. Just make small changes. Get sunshine. Hang out in nature. Choose to be around positive people. Go get your hair done and your nails done and pedicures. Take care of your body, okay? Remember to celebrate yourself. We get so caught up in what we're doing wrong and all the mistakes that we're making in life that we never take time to sit down and just celebrate the wonderful, amazing people that we are. Do that, okay? Spend the rest of this month doing that. And then send me some comments. Let me know how that worked out. Spend more time celebrating and less time criticizing. One thing that's really, really good towards self-love is forgiving yourself. I talked about we focus on mistakes we made, and we all have. But now it's time to let it go, okay? It's time to give yourself some forgiveness and move on from those mistakes because you're not your mistakes. And then pursue what you need rather than what you want. Because when we focus more on what we need, what we want falls in line. It comes automatically. Appreciate your uniqueness because we all are. If we had a whole bunch of people walking on this earth that were the same, it would be boring, right? And there will be nothing to distinguish us from one another. We're all unique. We all look different. We all act different. I mean, we have a lot of sameness, and that's important. But value your unique self, who you are. It's great, okay? Practice gratitude. And I want you to go deep with your gratitude. It's great to be thankful for a home and job, but I want you to think about some of the things that we take for granted, like getting to work safely, or the friend that we have in our life that's willing to listen to us when no one else is, or just, the smaller things that we don't really focus on that much. Practice patience with yourself, because these changes that you're making, you're not going to create perfection. It's not going to all happen overnight. So give yourself some time to fall into this new way of being. And last but not least, be as kind to yourself as you are to anyone else. Okay? So, self-love is important. It's an important part of self-development. Without self-love, your success and happiness will be a huge obstacle. You won't be able to obtain it. And you won't be able to be in a relationship with anyone else. If you don't love you, who will? Loving you teaches other people how to love you. Thank you. Bye-bye.